A full slate. Tonight on our news, newly minted PLP Grand Bahama candidates face tough questions about the stalled Grand Lucayan Hotel redevelopment.
The project is moving. Progress has been made, but we have to remember where we came from.
Our Jerome Sawyer gets feedback on what is sure to be a key ballot issue for Grand Bahama voters. And nurses back on the job tonight after the Public Hospitals Authority confirms outstanding pay will be released. But the union warns not all issues are fully resolved. And new figures show the Bahamian economy grew nearly 3% last year.
The Central Bank of the Bahamas reporting a moderate growth in the economy in 2025, with tourism, foreign exchange, and other factors playing a crucial role. Stay tuned to Our News tonight for more details.
Then in our news at 7:30, police charging 2 suspects and searching for a third after seizing 139 kilos of cocaine valued at nearly $3 million. Our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. With the Progressive Liberal Party now ratifying all 41 election candidates, the race in Grand Bahama shaping up to be a key battleground. One of the sticky election issues will no doubt be the sale of Grand Lucayan. Our Jerome Sawyer, he spoke with several candidates about the issue during the party's final candidate selection process on Sunday.
For an island that is historically a Free National Movement stronghold, the governing Progressive Liberal Party may be in for an uphill battle in Grand Bahama again this election cycle. Despite the government's continued insistence on job creation and billions in investments there, the stalled progress to redevelop the Grand Lucayan Hotel as the island's anchor property remains an Achilles heel for the PLP.
The hotel has been sold and the owner is working his plans, and we're waiting for him to come back to us with those plans.
Even as some party insiders feared could be too little too late, there were no signs of any such sentiments on Sunday as the party ratified its remaining 13 candidates, to include 2 incumbents and 3 newcomers for Grand Bahama. Minister for Grand Bahama Ginger Moxey renominated for Pine Ridge, and Kingsley Smith, who won the West End seat in a by-election 2 years ago, faced media questions on the hotel sale signed over 6 months ago.
The project is moving. Progress has been made, but we have to remember where we came from and how we got here, So the F&M administration acquired that property for double the appraised value. We went in right away to rectify the situation and to work on behalf of the people.
people may say just because the hotel did not, transaction did not happen at this time and progress is moving, and the airport, they will use that as if nothing is happening. But we all know when it comes to business dealings, things can happen.
The political novices looking to unseat two incumbent FNMs and a former FNM turned coalition of independents have their work cut out for them now that they've made it through nomination.
We do know it's been a long road. I lived there, I'm born and raised there, I've never left. I know we're going to get it back together. Just give us a chance, give us a time, give us another term. I promise you we got this.
I am a son of the soil of Grand Bahama. I'm known throughout Grand Bahama, and I think that I am capable of bringing it home for Central Grand Bahama.
With an economy still on life support, the PLP really has its work cut out in Grand Bahama. The island has given the FNM its current leader, Michael Pintard, and former leader in the late Cecil Wallace Whitfield. It has also given heavy support to the PLP in the past, with half of the seats in their column under the Perry Christie administration. Come next election, though, it will be the battleground cluster of constituencies to watch as novices and incumbents clash for election supremacy at the close of the polls, whenever that might be. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jerome Sawyer.
All right, thanks so much for that, Jerome. And still ahead tonight, the Progressive Liberal Party locking in its lineup. 8 new candidates added over the weekend. First-timers, familiar names, and also what it signals for Grand Bahama. Jerome Sawyer, he'll break down who made the final cut coming up in Our News at 7:30. And nurses are back on the job tonight after the Public Hospitals Authority confirmed that outstanding pay will be released, ending last week's sick out at Princess Margaret Hospital and Sandilands Rehabilitation Center. The nurses union has called off the action, directing members to return to work after receiving confirmation that unpaid monies will be settled tomorrow, with Grand Bahama Health Services set to be paid Wednesday. In a joint statement, the PHA and the union thanked nurses who counted or continued to report to duty during what they described as this crisis. The sick out, which began Wednesday night, forced the closure of outpatient services at Princess Margaret for 2 days, including eye, specialty, medical, surgical, and ENT clinics, as nurses called in sick over unresolved pay issues. Unpaid overtime, outstanding holiday pay, and delayed promotions were cited as the main grievances. PHA says approval for the payments had already been granted, and today's statement confirms those funds are now being released. But the dispute may not be fully resolved. The nurses union says it is still awaiting an update from the Ministry of Health on outstanding payments for nurses in the Department of Public Health. When asked about the union's actions on Sunday, Prime Minister Philip Davis said he was disappointed, a comment that's now drawing attention as questions continue about pay communication and the future of labor relations in the public health system.
It's disappointing when I think that what this government, this administration, and me in particular, recognizing the value of nurses, recognizing the sacrifices they make, and also recognizing the fact that we are under siege by other jurisdictions to lure them away from their home jurisdictions. We have been doing our best to ensure they're properly compensated. And if they look at where they were when I came into office, where they are now as far as salary is concerned, that should tell them how I think about them and how I value them. I just ask them to look at that. In respect to this issue of overtime, well, usually overtime could become an unbudgeted item. It only came to our attention within the week, and within that week, we made the arrangements to pay them.
And a man is behind bars after prosecutors say he molested his 12-year-old stepdaughter. The name of the 55-year-old man is being withheld to conceal his alleged victim's identity. The man stood before Magistrate Abigail Farrington, charged with unlawful sexual intercourse with a dependent. The charges stemmed from an incident that allegedly took place on January 21st. Bail was denied, and the accused is expected back in court on April 30th to receive voluntary bill of indictment papers. Those papers will fast-track his case to the Supreme Court. And the Bahamian economy grew by nearly 3% in 2025, according to the country's latest economic forecast, marking a modest slowdown compared to 2024. The figures were released this morning at Central Bank of the Bahamas' quarterly press briefing, where Governor John Rawls said the growth was driven primarily by strong tourism performance, along with a slight easing in inflation. But officials also acknowledged that momentum has cooled from the post-pandemic surge, raising questions about what comes next for the economy. Joshua Williams has more on what the numbers show and what they mean for you.
The country experiencing a slightly moderate pace of growth linked to several factors according to the latest figures released by the central bank. A major factor was the increase in tourism numbers, according to Central Bank Governor John Rawls. Last week, the government reported a record-breaking 12.5 million visitors in 2025. On the heels of that announcement by the tourism minister in Parliament, Rawls says while they'd like to see improvements in stopover visitors, the numbers did have a positive impact.
Although stopover performance was constrained by limited hotel sector capacity and softer U.S. travel demand, earnings were still bolstered by appreciated product pricing, sustained expansion in vacation rental sales, and arrivals gains from non-U.S. visitors, notably from Canada. The cruise market also continued to experience robust growth, buttressed by steady investment in private destination facilities.
Rawls says last year the economy grew at a rate of nearly 3% compared to 3.4% growth in 2024. He also notes it's above the medium-term potential, which is still projected under 2% every year.
Expanded domestic lending supported both consumer spending and local investments as loan default risk further reduced. The economy also supported improved fiscal indicators and further narrowing in the overall deficit.
Foreign exchange, the Bahamian dollar's moderate growth and diminished lending risk also playing an important role. Rawls says since early January, the external reserves are estimated at $2.86 billion, $200 million more compared to this same time last year.
But what about inflation? It's something that impacts the pockets of the everyday Bahamian.
The recent inflation experience reflects savings in energy costs and reduced pressures in import prices up through the middle of the year. It should be expected, though, that the inflation rate would have experienced some uptick over the remainder of 2025 as we would have experienced more of the U.S. Tariff policy effects in terms of being passed through in the cost of goods and services being imported from the United States.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
And days after a deadly industrial accident claimed the life of a worker at a fill site, a leading safety consultant warning that weak laws and poor enforcement are putting Bahamian workers at risk. The consultant says without stronger workplace safety standards and real consequences for violations, similar tragedies are likely to continue. The comments come as questions mount over oversight, accountability, and whether existing regulations are being enforced on active work sites. Delvado Emmanuel is following this.
The death of a 51-year-old man at an excavation site last Thursday has left a family grieving and has reignited a wider conversation about how workplace safety is viewed in the Bahamas. While investigators continue to examine what went wrong, safety professionals say the bigger issue isn't unfamiliar. It's a culture that often reacts after tragedy instead of preventing it. Stacey Jennings is a safety consultant with more than 2 decades of experience working across high-risk industries. She says incidents like this are painful reminders of what happens when safety isn't treated as a daily priority.
Excavation sites, the number one cause of fatality is collapse or being crushed, etc., and that's globally. And this is not the first time, I'm sure this has happened on a site, and we would hope it would be the last, but if proper measures are not put in place, it won't be the last.
She explains that many fatal incidents come down to routine failures, weak planning, limited training, poor maintained equipment, and lack of oversight before work even begins.
You have other policies in safety, which may or may not be the case in this site, but from my understanding, working alone policies. There are certain industries where persons should not work alone under any circumstances because of the high risk. Because if something were to happen, someone else needs to be there to at least perform a rescue, to at least know that something has happened.
But what's needed in the industry to prevent such tragedy from occurring again? Here's her response.
Proper regulations, standards, protocols, procedures when it comes to safety. Our Health and Safety at Work Act is not sufficient to protect our workers.
In the end, safety professionals say safety is a shared responsibility.
I think companies and businesses need to take it upon themselves to realize that their employees are their greatest asset, and protecting their lives, making sure their workers are healthy, they owe it to their workers, and it also affects their bottom line. Because I always tell people, you're going to pay for safety. Either you pay up front or you pay on the back end.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
All right, we've got much more to get to tonight. But for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson, he is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg, happy Monday.
Yeah, thanks, Kendine, and a happy Monday evening, everybody. Where are my cold weather lovers? Well, if you are not prepared for it, we did forecast some really cold winds and some cold temperatures moving into us. We still are a bit cool. Temperatures in the 60s right now, but we are at 60 degrees outside our studios with some clouds. Intermittent clouds, we'll call it. Northwest winds at 18 miles per hour, so we're still getting the feed of that cooler air mass from off the U.S. coast. Feels like temperature, believe it or not, feels like in the 50s. Current temperatures around the islands right now. We are settling into some very cool temperatures across the northwest Bahamas. 55 in Freeport, Grand Bahama, 60 in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, 56 in Alistown, Bimini, over in Nicholas, San Andros, 59 there. Pick up 62 in Great Harbor Key, the Berry Islands, Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera, 63. Central Bahamas, South Andros, Kemps Bay, 59 there as well. 63 in Black Point, Exuma, Georgetown, and in Port Nelson. Arthurstown, Kid Island, 61. Pair of 64s in Cuban Town, San Salvador, and in Deadman's Key. And into the southeast Bahamas. 66, Duncan Town, Ragged Island. 63 in Colonel Hill, Crooked Island, Delectable Bay. 64, 67 in Abrahams Bay. And look at Matthew Town, United and Providenciales. You are at 70 degrees, believe it or not. That cool air mass made it all the way down into the southeast Bahamas. Sideline radar composite, front boundary well to the south of us. It's actually across Puerto Rico, and we have some cold air mass still moving across areas. So we're picking up some Atlantic moisture across the area, bringing us across some clouds. Not much in terms of any precipitation, but the winds are dying down as a high pressure system behind this front starts to shift towards the east. Our winds will become more northeasterly over the next couple of days, so we are going to see a warm up before we expect another front by Friday. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, it's an all-track Monday from the pros to college, and then a regional focus here at home.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
It only takes a second for things to go wrong. Are you prepared? Don't become a statistic. Follow these simple rules. Leave early, obey road signs, wear seatbelts, invest in hands-free devices, and don't drink and drive. I'm Inspector Gerard Cum of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, reminding you that road safety is no accident.
It's more than a podcast. It's a movement. This is Breaking the Silence with Junior Clovis, where conversations we avoid finally have a place to breathe. Every story, every struggle, every breakthrough is brought to light, unfiltered and unspoken until now. Join us this Sunday at 2 p.m. as we confront the topics that matter, share real experiences, and change the conversation around mental health together. Watch, listen, break the silence.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. The Paris Olympics was an unforgettable moment in Bahamian track and field. For the first time ever, we had 3 Olympians compete in the sprint hurdles, one of which a world record holder. Naturally, we're all locked in to see what they do for an encore in 2028. Olympians Devon Charlton, Danica Cartwright, and Charisma Taylor delivered strong performances as they look to build off their historic feat in 2024. In the women's 60-meter hurdles at the prestigious Millrose Games in New York, Charlton and Cartwright both appeared in a loaded international field. Charlton finished second overall with a time of 7.96 seconds, while Cartwright posted the season's best 8.17 seconds to finish 7th overall. The third sprint hurdle Olympian from Paris, Taylor opened her season at the Bob Pollock Invitational in South Carolina and finished second in the 60-meter hurdles in 8.06 seconds. Family Island student athletes will be granted a new opportunity by the Ministry of Youth Sports and Culture. As a part of the Frank Pancher-Ramming All Schools Track and Field Championships, the inaugural regional meet will be a qualifier for nationals. Acklands and Crooked Island athletes will go at it first in the Cascarilla Regional, hosted at the Admiral Ferguson High School in Crooked Island.
For many of us who grew up on the Family Islands, we understand what it means to have talent, yet still struggle for opportunity. Too often, our children have to leave home just to prove they belong on the national stage.
There's a lot to recap in college track and field. Today we focus on D1, meet records, facility records, PRs, programs, all-time top lists. There was a lot going on. Golden Gophers' Zion Campbell continues his early season dominance in the 60. He clocked 6.59 seconds to set both the facility and meet record. It marked Campbell's second 60-meter win of the season, posting that same time at the M-City Classic. That'll do it for our sports. Stay tuned to our news at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as a legal showdown over history. The city of Philadelphia seeks to restore a memorial honoring people enslaved by George Washington. Plus, after months of closure, the Rafah crossing between Gaza and Egypt is back open, but only in a limited way, with strict security checks and caps on who can pass through. And a first in Grammy history. Bad Bunny wins Album of the Year with a Spanish language record just days before his Super Bowl halftime performance. The story when our news returns.
Do you think you know domestic violence? Think again. It is not just physical, emotional, financial, or sexual abuse, and it doesn't discriminate. If you feel intimidated, harassed, or manipulated, you're not alone. The Bahamas Crisis Center and the Domestic Violence Task Force are here. I am Sergeant 3992 Tamika Neely. Let's break the silence on domestic violence. Let's create safer communities.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having Business in a Box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Philadelphia has filed a federal lawsuit against the Trump administration after the National Park Service removed a slavery memorial at the president's house site honoring people enslaved by George Washington. The city says the exhibit was taken down without notice, violating federal law and a 2006 agreement that required joint approval for any changes. The Department of the Interior says the removal complies with President Trump's executive order targeting what it calls divisive historical narratives. Philadelphia now seeking a court order to restore the memorial and block further changes, setting up a high-profile legal battle over how America's history is told. Ambulances and aid trucks moved into position at the Rafah crossing Monday as Egypt prepared to receive Palestinians from Gaza following a limited reopening of the border. The Egyptian Red Crescent says it has raised its state of readiness, deploying medical teams, preparing to receive the wounded, and providing humanitarian and psychological support. Israel reopened the Rafah crossing for pedestrian traffic, allowing some Palestinians to leave Gaza and others to return after fleeing the war. The move comes with strict limits, including security checks and caps on daily travelers, to be enforced by both Israel and Egypt. Israel seized control of the crossing in May last year, and its reopening is a key part of the first phase of a ceasefire plan brokered by U.S. President Donald Trump aimed at halting fighting between Israel and Hamas. And Bad Bunny made Grammy history Sunday night, becoming the first artist to win Album of the Year with a Spanish-language record. His album beat out Kendrick Lamar and Lady Gaga for the industry's top prize. In his acceptance speech, the 31-year-old star dedicated the win to immigrants forced to leave their homelands in search of an opportunity, a message that drew loud applause inside the arena. The moment carried political weight as Bad Bunny has been openly critical of immigration sweeps ordered by President Trump, even skipping U.S. tour dates over fears for his fans' safety. The Grammy win comes just days before he is set to headline the Super Bowl halftime show, marking a major mainstream moment for Latin music on the world's biggest stage. Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was February 2nd. Then in our news at 7:30, an internal political showdown in the PLP leaves ZNS general manager out. A look at the final slate of PLP candidates straight ahead. And another Grand Lucayan worker breaking her silence, alleging delayed and missing pay, putting her livelihood at risk. Now she's calling for urgent action. When our news returns.
It only takes a second for things to go wrong. Are you prepared? Don't become a statistic. Follow these simple rules. Leave early, obey road signs, wear seatbelts, invest in hands-free devices, and don't drink and drive. I'm Inspector Gerard Cum of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, reminding you that road safety is no accident.
It's more than a podcast. It's a movement. This is Breaking the Silence with Junior Clovis, where conversations we avoid finally have a place to breathe. Every story, every struggle, every breakthrough is brought to light, unfiltered and unspoken until now. Join us this Sunday at 2 p.m. as we confront the topics that matter, share real experiences, and change the conversation around mental health together. Watch, listen, break the silence.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having Business in a Box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record. We challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy.
On this day in Bahamian history in 1914, Harcourt Malcolm was elected Speaker of the House of Assembly, serving for 23 years until 1936. Fast forward to 2012. Then Minister Neville Wisdom questioned the $500,000 cost of the National Stadium opening, a move defended by the late Charles Maynard. In 2016, a Sky Bahamas flight safely returned to Nassau after an apparent engine issue with all on board unharmed. February 2nd, 2019, 28 people died after a Haitian migrant boat capsized off Abaco. And in 2022, government moved to sell Grand Lucayan Resort, a deal that later fell through and is still today making headlines. If you want to learn more about the events that shaped the day that was February 2nd, head over to rnews.bs. There you can watch all of today's top stories, and of course you can share your favorite stories right from Our News Bahamas on Facebook. That's going to do it for us in News at 7. Up now, Natalia Hall. She has got the latest headlines. Happy Monday,
Happy
Natalia.
Monday. Are you enjoying the cold weather?
I mean, you even got to ask. You know.
I've had a lot of people say, Natalia, why are you so cold? You're from Freeport. You should be used to this.
I was going to say, have you heard from your family in Freeport?
It's cold.
It's colder than here, I understand.
It's cold,
in
yeah.
Nassau.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Thanks so much, Candino. Well, coming up, police charging 2 suspects and searching for a third after seizing 139 kilos of cocaine. And John Batiste returns to the Baha Mar Resorts. Here are your latest headlines.
First tonight on Our News, live at 7:30.
There's a lot of roles to be played in governance, and Clint Watson will be a prominent player in those roles going forward.
Also, another Grand Lucayan Resort employee is speaking out tonight, sharing what she calls unfair treatment that's now affecting her livelihood. The employee, who asks to remain anonymous, says delayed and missed paychecks have left her struggling. Plus, the All My Children Hotel on North Bimini was reduced to rubble as thick black smoke filled the sky. Our News obtained aerial footage showing the extent of the damage. And later, Central Bank Governor John Roll says economic growth is expected to remain strong this year, continuing above the country's medium-term potential of 2%. The story when Our News at 7:30 returns.
Carol, what do I have in my biggie bag? Fries, nuggets, a chicken sandwich, an apple pie, a free apple pie. It also comes with a drink. You know what? A biggie bag a day keeps the hunger away.
For a limited time only, get a free apple pie with the purchase of the Biggie Bag.
Whether you're battling a chronic condition or offsetting a new injury, Doctors Hospital's comprehensive rehab services offer the help you need now.
Go to doctors.
3 advanced facilities at Collins Avenue, Carmichael Road, and Cable Beach means your personalized plan for care is just a visit away. From physiotherapy to occupational therapy and speech and language pathology, our team approach is all about rebuilding together. For a full list of services, visit doctorshosp.com/rehabilitation. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
Tired of weak, over-the-counter bug sprays? Step up your pest control game with professional-grade products from the Struckham Shop. From powerful insecticides to trusted gel baits and termiticides, we supply the same products used by Struckham Commercial Pest Services, now available for DIY homeowners and small pest control pros. Whether you're protecting your home or building your business, get the edge with the Struckham Shop.
I'm very excited, and I can't believe it. It's it's a dream come true. When she did call me yesterday about it, I didn't know what to believe. Thanks to Mr. Coleman and this whole staff for what they do, and making sure the customers are taken care of, making sure we enjoy the gaming they do give to us. Chances is the great house to play, even down to the staff, is perfect. You're going to marvel.
Welcome to Our News. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. First tonight, 8 new faces added to the governing Progressive Liberal Party's candidate slate over the weekend, and all 13 candidates making the final selection, including the Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister. Lots of first-timers for Grand Bahama, and some party well-knowns have joined the PLP contest this time around. Our Jerome Sawyer fills us in.
The political chess game within the Progressive Liberal Party played out at the historic Gambia House headquarters Sunday, ending months of jockeying and saber-rattling. Getting top billing was the Southern Shores race. The battle for the nomination between Obie Roberts, son of political giant the late Bradley Roberts, and media boss at ZNS Clint Watson will no doubt leave some scars in the party with Roberts' nomination.
And that's the candidates committee decision that they recommended to council, and council accepted that recommendation. But Clint, there's a lot of roles to be played in governance, and Clint Watson will be a prominent player in those roles going forward.
You're going to have some persons right now who will have some emotions after the decision is made. You can't please everybody. But PLP is a PLP, as you know. They will remain home. They remain faithful to the party, granted if they're disappointed or not.
The position further cemented in this statement by Angliston incumbent and political veteran Glenys Hannah Martin.
It's not about us. It ain't about us. It's about how we take our people forward.
8 of the 13 candidates getting the nod are new faces on the election contest. For party well-knowns like former Senator and party officer Robin Lyons, heading into the FNM stronghold of Killarney, her experience has no doubt given rise to much-needed confidence as she faces a potential four-way race and a former prime minister on the ballot.
And when you go into a strong area, you send a strong woman. When we count the votes, Lyons is going to be in the winning column. Yes. Anyway, it's like it.
Another party well-known, Senator Randy Roll, joins political newcomer Owen Wells on the ballot in 2 brand new constituencies, Roll for Bimini and the Barry Islands, Wells in St. James.
Well, the work is large and there's lots to be done. What I want to say to the people of Bimini and the Barry Islands, though, is this time is ours.
Infrastructure, first of all, lighting, they go hand in hand, opportunities for the youth, and overall just infrastructure right now.
The PLP has also stacked mainly new faces on the ballot for the 5 seats now held by the opposition, except Renika Knowles, who, unsuccessful in the last race in Killarney, is back on the ballot for Long Island. Grand Bahama will also have 3 new faces in Parco Deal for Central Grand Bahama, Edward Wan for Marco City, and Dr. Monique Pratt in East Grand Bahama. Keno Wong is also tossing his hat as a first-timer in the FNM stronghold, St. Anne's.
This is like David and Goliath. There's a time in essence that change will come. St. Anne's is not the same community that it was 40, 50, 60 years ago.
With this part of the process done, the PLP is now in full re-election campaign mode. The question is when. With the election date solely in the Prime Minister's portfolio, Sunday's confirmation of now all 41 candidates is the first real indicator of an imminent election date. Reporting for our News, I'm Jerome Sawyer.
All right, thanks so much for that report, Jerome. Now turning to Grand Bahama, this as another Grand Lucayan employee is speaking out tonight, sharing what she describes as unfair treatment that's now impacting her livelihood. The employee, who asks to remain anonymous, says delayed and missing pay has left her struggling, and she's calling on the powers that be to step in and act immediately.
They come to what they gotta do, hop on their plane and they go. They sell us a dream and they go.
Another Grand Lucayan Resort employee is breaking her silence, shedding light on what she says has been months of financial uncertainty and broken promises. The employee, who has worked at the resort for nearly 4 years and asks to remain anonymous, says she is among several staff members affected by late salary payments and in some cases no pay at all. She describes the situation as discouraging, saying it's taken a serious toll on her life and her ability to provide for her family. And just when things couldn't get any worse, she says her car, already experiencing mechanical issues, developed a gas leak and caught fire at her home on Friday.
Saturday I set up for someone to come check it. I said Friday, I guess Friday they'll pay out. But who would have thought, at this Friday, I wouldn't have had no guy anymore. So it really is a setback.
Adding to the frustration, she claims she was unable to apply for unemployment benefits through NIB because she never received a redundancy letter despite requesting one.
If you put in a resignation, you have no claims for nothing. For the years of you being there and you've been working, you get nothing when they do decide that they are going to pay out.
While some say the economy is improving, she insists the reality on the ground in Grand Bahama tells a different story and believes the Prime Minister may not fully understand what workers are facing. On Sunday, during a PLP ratification event, Prime Minister Philip Davis was asked about the Grand Lucayan matter and outstanding employee payments. He said the issue is being addressed and that employees will be paid. But for this employee, those words offered little reassurance.
A promise is a comfort to a fool here. And I think that right about now, the Grand Lucayans really has been very patient, and it's time now for us to speak out.
As for what she wants to see happen,
it's not about being doubtful, it's about track record. And the track record shows that, around this kind of time, this is what usually happens. So, when you disappoint a person more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times, what you think is going to happen?
She also explains why many employees have chosen to remain anonymous, pointing to fear, intimidation, and pride among Grand Bahamians who simply want stability, not confrontation. And she adds some workers have been called doubtful about the hotel. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Davis pushing back on claims Grand Lucayan workers remain unpaid. He first made the comments last week in Grand Bahama, even as workers received another notice Friday about delayed salary payments at the government-owned hotel. On Sunday, he was questioned again about his insistence employees are getting salary payments, this time belaboring the point that it is only some employees who haven't been paid.
We have paid those persons whom we feel were entitled to. There has been some hangover to 1 or 2, and that has been corrected during the course, was being corrected in the course of this week and into next week.
All right, switching gears now, a weekend fire in Bimini destroyed a long-time island landmark, but quick action by residents and emergency partners prevented the flames from spreading. On Sunday, a fiery blaze tore through the All My Children Hotel on North Bimini, leaving the structure reduced to ash and debris. The building, described by residents as a community landmark, was fully engulfed with thick plumes of black smoke filling the skies and visible from across the island. Our News obtained aerial footage from resident Dylan Roberts capturing the scale of the destruction from above. We reached out to Bimini's island administrator, Evac Arthur, who says swift action by residents, along with support from emergency partners, helped contain the fire.
It was an old building. It was basically a landmark for my children. And I can't speak to exactly what caused the fire, but I can say that the residents came together with the help of Assistant Superintendent Nick, who was fire trained, and so he led the group of residents that came together to contain the fire, which about between 4:15 and 4:30 yesterday, the fire was contained. But thanks to the residents, once there's a disaster on the island, it's all hands on deck.
In its prime, this iconic hotel was once a cherished destination for discerning travelers. The building is said to be owned by a group of siblings, hence its name. With no reports of injuries, the focus quickly turned to preventing the fire from spreading. Help arrived from private and public partners, adding critical equipment to the response as residents continued working on the ground.
We got the help of Resorts World. I must say thank you to Resorts World as well for their fire truck, and we were able to, also with the assistance of the fire truck from the airport, that came over on the barge, and that assisted us with containing the fire.
Central Bank of the Bahamas Governor John Roll expects economic growth this year to remain above its medium-term potential of 2%. Last year, the economy grew by nearly 3% in 2025. That's slightly less than the economic growth reported in 2024. And while the government reported a record-breaking 12.5 million visitors last year, Roll says more stopover visitors can further boost the economy.
On the upside, with the U.S. contribution to stopover projected to strengthen, stopover earnings in the tourism sector could stabilize or improve incrementally, and along with vibrancy in cruise activity, help to at least maintain the same rate of gains as was experienced in 2025.
Well, cool temperatures across the country on this Monday. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with the latest. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Natalia, and a happy Monday evening, everybody. We are starting a little bit of a warm-up, but that cold air mass that was promised, we got that in here by the weekend, and things were very chilly. We had some very low temperatures. Freeport got down into the low 40s. Here in the capital, we got into the 50s, and down the southeast Bahamas, we actually got into the 50s and 60s overnight during that cold spell. 60 degrees outside our studios, intermittent clouds, north-north winds, north-northwest winds at 80 miles per hour, slight breeze out there still, and it's still bringing in those cool air mass. Feels like temperature is at 56. Satellite radar composite, this is how things are shaping up. Frontal boundary well to the southeast of us, moving across eastern Hispaniola and across Puerto Rico. Cold air mass still filtering in across area, picking up some Atlantic moisture. We're seeing a couple of clouds, but sun got out today, but temperatures didn't climb very much. Look as though we're going to start to see a warm-up before we get another front by Friday. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast. Still to come.
Still to come in our news, police have charged 2 people and are searching for a third suspect following a major cocaine bust valued at more than $2.8 million. And that's all coming up when our news returns.
It only takes a second for things to go wrong. Are you prepared? Don't become a statistic. Follow these simple rules. Leave early, obey road signs, wear seat belts, invest in hands-free devices, and don't drink and drive. I'm Inspector Gerard Cum of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, reminding you that road safety is no accident.
It's more than a podcast. It's a movement. This is Breaking the Silence with Junior Clovis, where conversations we avoid finally have a place to breathe. Every story, every struggle, every breakthrough is brought to light, unfiltered and unspoken until now. Join us this Sunday at 2 p.m. as we confront the topics that matter, share real experiences, and change the conversation around mental health together. Watch, listen, break the silence.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of
Police have charged 2 people and are seeking a third suspect in connection to a $2.8 million cocaine seizure. 24-year-old Malik Basin and 41-year-old Marie Chenoweth, both of South Bimini, denied charges of drug possession with intent to supply and conspiracy to possess drugs with intent to supply at their arraignment before Senior Magistrate Raquel Wims. Police are searching for a third person, Michael Roberts Jr., in relation to the case. The charges stem from a January 24th police operation on the island. While conducting inquiries at the Buccaneer Point Canal, police officers allegedly saw several men offloading coolers from a 33-foot boat. The men allegedly fled in a truck as the officers approached, and police found 139 kilos of cocaine while searching the vessel and the surrounding area. The accused were each granted $50,000 bail and are required to wear ankle monitors and sign in weekly at the Allenstown Police Station. Their trial is set for May 27th.
Coming up in sports, track heavy today. Sprint hurdle Olympians were back at it in their signature event, and new opportunities for Family Island student athletes, and the top performances on a busy weekend in NCAA Division I.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record, we challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the record.
Conflict doesn't have to end in chaos. Before it escalates, take a breath. Step back. Choose peace. Listen to understand. Respectful conversations lead to real solutions. I am Sergeant 3599 Johnson of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, urging you, let's talk it out, not fight it out.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, our conversation sets the tone for the nation. We've tackled the biggest issues on the planet, held world leaders accountable, and given voice to the people. From politics to culture, business to the environment, no topic is off limits. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. The Paris Olympics was an unforgettable moment in Bahamian track and field. For the first time ever, we had 3 Olympians compete in the sprint hurdles, one of which a world record holder. Naturally, we're all locked in to see what they do for an encore in 2028. Olympians Devin Charlton, Danica Cartwright, and Charisma Taylor delivered strong performances as they look to build off their historic feat in 2024. In the women's 60-meter hurdles at the prestigious Millrose Games in New York, Charlton and Cartwright both appeared in a loaded international field. Charlton finished second overall with a time of 7.96 seconds, while Cartwright posted the season's best 8.17 seconds to finish 7th overall. Of course, Charlton, no stranger to the Millrose Games. In 2024, she made history at the event by setting the world record of 7.65 seconds, cementing her status as one of the event's most dominant performers of all time. The third sprint hurdle Olympian from Paris, Taylor opened her season at the Bob Pollock Invitational in South Carolina and finished second in the 60-meter hurdles in 8.06 seconds. Family Island student athletes will be granted a new opportunity by the Ministry of Youth Sports and Culture. As a part of the Frank Pancher Ramming All Schools Track and Field Championships, the inaugural regional meet will be a qualifier for nationals. Acklands and Crooked Island athletes will go at it first in the Cascarilla Regional, hosted at the Admiral Ferguson High School in Crooked Island.
For many of us who grew up on the Family Islands, we understand what it means to have talent, yet still struggle for opportunity. Too often, our children have to leave home just to prove they belong on the national stage. That is why these regional and national meets are more than just track and field. They represent a fairer pathway for young people across the Bahamas.
There's a lot to recap in college track and field. Today we focus on D1, meet records, facility records, PRs, programs, all-time top lists. There was a lot going on. Let's get started at the Jack Johnson Classic in Minnesota. Golden Gopher's Zion Campbell continues his early season dominance in the 60. He clocked 6.59 seconds to set both the facility and meet record. It marked Campbell's second 60-meter win of the season, posting that same time at the M-City Classic. In Arkansas, Florida Gators Wanya McCoy took first place in the men's 200 at the Razorback Invitational, stopping the clock in 20.50 seconds. McCoy has built a strong indoor resume during his time with the Gators, including SEC championship success and multiple NCAA-level performances. We talked a lot about the Bob Pollock Invitational in South Carolina, but college athletes were getting it done there as well. Javonia Volcourt of the Tennessee Volunteers opened her 400-meter campaign this season with a second-place finish in 51.73 seconds. The time currently ranks 4th nationally and 3rd fastest time in Tennessee program history. Earlier this season, she also ran a personal best 36.46 seconds in the 300, 9th all-time in NCAA history. Meanwhile, at the Mayo Invitational, DePaul sprinter Demetrius Roll finished second in the men's 60 in 6.78 seconds. That'll do it for Our Sports. This is 10YS, and if you're watching this, you made it through the 2026 Bahamas blizzard. We all survived the snowstorm. Congratulations. Back to the studio.
When our news comes back from the break, things are heating up at Baha Mar this Love Month, with Grammy-winning artist Jon Batiste once again taking center stage. And that's all coming up when our news returns. Stay with us.
Too many suffer in silence, but silence only protects the abuser. Your feelings are real. Your safety matters. It's time to break the silence. If someone is hurting you, speak up. We will listen. We will help. I am Police Constable 4286 Sinead Douglas of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Let us build safer communities together. Do you think you know domestic violence? Think again. It is not just physical, emotional, financial, or sexual abuse, and it doesn't discriminate. If you feel intimidated, harassed, or manipulated, you're not alone. The Bahamas Crisis Center and the Domestic Violence Task Force are here. I am Sergeant 3992 Tamika Neely. Let's break the silence on domestic violence. Let's create safer communities.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile.
This is our news. Welcome back. Well, as advertised and forecasted, that cold front, a powerful one that pushed through the capital and into the remainder of the islands, now pushing well south of us. The cold air mass that was following that really caused quite a bit of stir across the island chain. We also had some very strong wind. Gale force winds expected across the islands did materialize. A lot of rough seas out there. But conditions are improving as that frontal boundary, as I mentioned, pushes well to the southeast of us. It's across eastern Hispaniola and Puerto Rico. Most of the shower activity really across the Puerto Rican area. But that high pressure system is sliding out towards the east. That's turning our winds more towards the north to northeast. So we're going to see a moderation in the temperatures, and by the middle to the end of the week, winds will become more to east to southeast, and that should allow us to warm up back into the 70s. But we do have another front that's going to be coming in here on Thursday, Friday time frame, and that one will drop our temperatures once again, knocking it back down into the 70s, low 70s across most of the chain of the islands. And of course, the nice high pressure system behind that will keep us a bit breezy for the weekend, so we could see some 70s throughout the period. Taking a look at the future forecast, nothing happening across our area throughout the night and into tomorrow. Dry air mass in place. Most of the moisture staying out there in the open Atlantic, but by Wednesday, those winds expected to become more east to southeast. That will allow some Atlantic moisture to move back across us. We could see one or two spotty showers before that front gets in here by Thursday night into Friday. Boating forecast asking you to exercise extreme caution out there. The advisory remains in place for the Atlantic side. Your winds will be northerly tonight, becoming northeasterly tomorrow at 10 to 15 knots. Seas 2 to 4 feet near shore, but building up to 6 feet offshore and in the Atlantic exposures. Northeasterly swells expected. High tide is at 8:17 tonight. Your low tide takes place at 2:25 in the morning. Central and southeastern islands, caution flag in place for the nearshore waters, but the Atlantic side, advisory as well. Northeasterly winds 15 to 20 knots. Seas running 4 to 6 feet, building up to 8 feet in Atlantic waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, tomorrow we expect some patchy clouds to be across our area. Temperatures will struggle to get near the 70-degree mark here in the capital. Then we begin that warm up by Wednesday into Thursday. Front comes through on Friday, knocks our temperatures back down into the low 70s, and then we warm up again by the end of the weekend and into early next week, mid to upper 70s. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much, Craig. Well, things are heating up at Baha Mar this Love Month, and at the center of it all is Grammy-winning artist Jon Batiste, known for his high-energy performances and deep musical roots. Batiste is once again bringing his signature sound. We hear from the assistant director at Baha Mar for more in this report.
We have Jon back with us, and that's always amazing. He actually just won a Grammy last night, so whoop, whoop, whoop for us and for him, so congratulations.
Award-winning musician and artist Jon Batiste is back at his jazz club at Baha Mar, delivering the kind of live performance that blends soul, jazz, and pure energy, creating an experience that goes far beyond the music. Tonight, February 2nd, and tomorrow, February 3rd, fans can expect Batiste to put on a spectacular show, one that Assistant Director of Food and Beverage at the Baha Mar Resort, Melina Young-Lau, says captures both his artistry and his connection to the Bahamas. She adds Batiste's relationship with the venue continues to grow, noting plans are also in the works for a future residency once dates are finalized.
Jon is a part of the fabric and the culture of this space. When he comes, it's not that like he's just, oh, Jon's popping in to show his face. Jon knows the names of all our associates. Jon, in soundcheck, he's singing Stagger Lee. Like, he is absolutely becoming more engaged and intertwined with the Bahamian cultural lexicon, and I think that is just fantastic.
But Batiste isn't the only talent lighting up the stage. The Jazz Club is also showcasing a lineup of performers.
We have the Mike Young Comedy Experience happening on the 18th and 19th of this month with like amazing, we also have Talib Kweli coming in March. We have Juvenile coming in June.
And as the venue recently marked its first anniversary, Young-Lau says, the Jazz Club has found its footing, establishing itself as a luxury Caribbean experience rooted in Bahamian culture.
We have amazing resident bands, Essence Band, Encore Band, Jazz Cats, Black Swan.
And for those looking to experience the club firsthand, she says access is easy.
If you ever want to come to the Jazz Club, this event is just like any other. You go to Jon Batiste Jazz Club at the Baha Mar. You can make your own reservations.
All right, sounds exciting. And with that, we thank you so much for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.